This is 5 on your side at 10. Focused on you.
It has been on the books for nearly 2 years, but now a federal judge has ruled Illinois' ban on assault weapons is unconstitutional. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. The Metro East judge's ruling came down just hours ago. New tonight, Robert Townsend has reaction, including Governor J.B. Pritzker's promise to appeal today's decision.
You might say East St. Louis Judge Stephen McGlynn shot down Illinois' assault weapons ban. On Friday, the federal judge overturned the ban, known as the Protecting Illinois Communities Act, saying it violates both the Second and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution.
Well, we were very pleased with his decision.
Richard Pearson is the executive director of the Illinois Rifle Association.
The ban was unconstitutional from the very beginning. And so we took up the governor's challenge to see him in court, and so here we are today.
Governor J.B. Pritzker signed the measure in January of 2023. It bans the sale of assault weapons and high-capacity magazines similar to those used in the July 4th attack 2 years ago that killed 7 people and injured dozens more in a Chicago suburb. The judge's ruling states Illinois will no longer be able to enforce criminal penalties associated with the act.
I agree with his legal analysis.
Attorney Thomas DeVore read most of the judge's 168-page ruling against the weapons ban.
These particular type of semi-automatic weapons, as a matter of legal definition, are not dangerous and unusual, and they're in common use. There's millions of these weapons across the nation.
The judge's order doesn't take effect for 30 days. In a statement, Pritzker's spokesman says, "We look forward to the Attorney General filing an immediate appeal, and the governor is confident the constitutionality of the Protect Illinois Communities Act will be upheld through this process."
We imagine the Seventh Circuit will make a ruling, and then we'll be on our way to the United States Supreme Court.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Here's a live look downtown where more rain is expected this weekend. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell here with the first look at our weather impact forecast.
You know, it's not a complete washout weekend, Kelly. We do have showers that are trying to push into Missouri right now. The leading edge, though, starting to encounter some of that drier air around St. Louis. And so we don't think we'll see much for the very early morning hours tomorrow. But through the course of the day, our rain chances do increase, especially once we get towards 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock around the metro St. Louis area. Think we'll be okay for at least the start of the Veterans Day Parade. But by noon, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, pretty good rain chances across the region. Still watching the Merrimack River, that crest working downstream right now. You are past crest at Pacific. We've crested at Eureka, pretty close still to the crest in Valley Park. Didn't get an update this hour from Fenton, but it's right around 29 feet there, and it's pretty close to the crest there. It'll crest tomorrow in Arnold. All of our locations along the Merrimack River will drop back below flood stage by Sunday afternoon. Of course, we're already there on the headwaters of the Merrimack. We'll see you in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, Scott. The Missouri Department of Transportation closed the southbound exit ramp on Route 141 going on to I-44. Roads in the area have been closed for a while due to recent flooding from the Merrimack River. MoDOT says drivers should never drive on a road covered with water. Turn around, don't drown. And there's some good news for homeowners hit by the Merrimack floodwaters. The crest continues to work downstream. People in Pacific were sandbagging for days to try and keep their homes and businesses safe. Right now, we haven't heard of any major damage in the Pacific area. Utility crews were out today restoring power to homes. 4 new contractors are working on the next phase of the I-70 improvement project. It's part of a larger $2.8 billion effort to revitalize the interstate from Wentzville to the Kansas City area. Now, this leg of the project will stretch from Warrenton to Wentzville. A third lane is being added to westbound I-70. Workers plan to remove and replace the pavement, and that's not all MoDOT has planned.
Interchange improvements at 64 and 70, adding the third lane to I-64, and then also interchange improvements at Route Z in Wentzville, Forestell, Wright City, and Route 47 in Warrenton. So lots of great improvements on this project.
Construction is set to start next spring. That's also when MoDOT plans to start holding public meetings to provide updates on the project. An 18-year-old man is behind bars tonight after police say he shot and killed a 92-year-old man last week. Officers found the victim, Robert Pruitt, on the front lawn of his Florissant home last Wednesday. Court documents say Damon Williams of Florissant was caught on camera running away from the scene, tossing some of his clothes in a nearby dumpster. Police found the clothes, did a DNA analysis, and matched those results to Williams. He's being held in Illinois on a $500,000 bond. Today, many in St. Charles County are grieving the loss of a 10-year-old girl hit and killed by a school bus. This happened yesterday afternoon at around 3:45 on Lupine Court and Snowbird Lane. Tonight, there's a makeshift memorial for the little girl. The school bus driver is fully cooperating with the investigation, and for now, details are limited. Mental health experts are saying many in the community, including first responders, are feeling the loss.
When people talk about their awful calls, the pediatric calls are at the top of the list. I know a lot of my fire service members, they see their own children's faces on the child, and it's horrific. Our kids outlive us, and so it's really personal, I believe, to a lot of the first responders that take those calls.
This girl was a student in the Fort Zumwalt School District. The district released a statement this afternoon saying, quote, "As a district and as a community, we are supporting the student's family by respecting their privacy at this incredibly difficult time. We're cooperating with the O'Fallon Police Department's ongoing investigation and appreciate their partnership." The district also says counselors and mental health professionals were on hand today for staff and students. St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones and her son are among the many victims of racist text messages targeting black men and women across the U.S. The messages tell the recipient to prepare to work as slaves using plantation imagery. The mayor says she is furious that someone would send messages like that, calling it unacceptable. The message has also been sent to students at Missouri State. The FBI is investigating, saying, quote, "They are aware of the offensive and racist text messages sent to people in St. Louis and around the country and is in contact with the Justice Department and other federal authorities." As always, they go on to say they encourage members of the public to report threats of physical violence to local law enforcement. Now, if you get a message like this, you can report it to the Federal Trade Commission by forwarding it to 7726. A wildcat rescue in North County, how a car crash landed these exotic cats in a local shelter. And dozens of dogs safe and sound tonight. The Humane Society's recent group of rescues making their way to St. Louis. The APA took in 2 exotic cats after they were rescued from a North County car crash. Here's one of them. They're servals, a breed native to Africa. The driver was arrested after police suspected he was driving under the influence. One of the cats was taken into surgery. The other is at the APA shelter in Olivet. Now, to make room for the new arrivals, the APA had to move some of their dogs, and now the shelter is overcrowded.
Between our team as well as partner resources, care for the cats who have come in because they do have special needs, being exotic pets. We are actively working to find an appropriate environment for these cats to be transferred to. And until then, we have a wonderful team who's providing the care that they need so they can thrive.
The APA is waiving all adoption fees this weekend due to overcrowding at its Olivet location. It's open from 10 to 4 all weekend. Today, the Humane Society of Missouri's Animal Cruelty Task Force saved 27 dogs from an abusive owner in Polk County. The task force greenlit a rescue after officials checked on the property multiple times. The owner was given several warnings that the animals would be taken away if living conditions didn't improve. The dogs were found chained to items in the yard, many of them hurt and malnourished. Some of the dogs were found deceased. All of the rescues were taken to the Humane Society's Macklin headquarters, and they'll be put up for adoption once they receive veterinary care. Let's check in with Scott again. We are expecting a little rain tomorrow, correct?
Yes, tomorrow, and especially as we head towards lunchtime through the afternoon, you know, you're going to need to take that umbrella with you tomorrow. It's going to be one of those days where temperatures stay in the 50s and around 60 for the high. So that's still a little bit above average, or right around average. That was St. Charles. There's the airport. There's Highland, Illinois, Farmington, downtown St. Louis. Everybody this evening has seen the cloud cover rolling in and thickening around the St. Louis area. Because of that, temperatures aren't as cool as they otherwise might be. Still 54 degrees. Our dew point's 44. 65 was the high today, 43 the low. Those numbers above average. And so far this month, about 7.5 degrees above average. Not going to change that with these low temperatures staying well above average tonight in the mid to upper 40s as the clouds keep rolling in. There's our storm system working its way out of Colorado into Kansas now. It's a really impressive jet stream that's dipping here. A lot of energy swinging in. There's a tremendous amount of snow and blowing snow across the plains of Colorado. And then we get into that rain band that's already working its way across Oklahoma. There have been some stronger storms there. Don't think that that's in the offing for us tomorrow. This leading edge of rain as it's pushing towards St. Louis, tending to lose a lot of its punch here this evening, and we expect that trend to continue. Most of us are still in the 50s right now. Tomorrow we'll start in the 40s to around 50, close to 60 during the afternoon, but you can bet once we get to about 10:30, 11 o'clock tomorrow, you could see it. By 9, 10 o'clock, here come the scattered showers into the metro area. More likely, they'll be a little more widespread as we head south and west of St. Louis. That surge pushes in towards the midday hours. Could there be a rumble of thunder? Sure. Not expecting severe weather with this. Not even expecting the winds to gust much more than 20 miles per hour. Some brief downpours, though, are certainly possible with some of these storms. It won't be enough to aggravate the flooding situation that's ongoing right now. And by Sunday morning, skies start to clear out. Rainfall amounts, most of us are likely going to be in that 1/4 to a 1/2 inch range. There'll be a few spots that end up a 1/2 inch to an inch if you get under one of those heavier showers and storms. And again, by Sunday, everything is out of here, even the clouds. It looks like it's a bright, beautiful Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. Above average temperatures continuing. One thing we have not been able to find, even looking, 350, 380 hours out from where we are right now, is cold air. It's having a hard time making its way into our region, which means probably through Thanksgiving, we're going to be at or above average in St. Louis temperature-wise.
It would be nice to be a little cool for Thanksgiving.
You would think, but
put us in the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Scott. Thanks so much for joining us at 10, but we're always streaming on 5+. Now here's Corey Miller and Annie Crawl with 5 on your sideline.